So we balance the sacrotuberous ligaments. Now the sacrococcygeal ligaments on people who have problems such as bedwetting, PMS syndromes that are bad. We all go through the PMS syndrome deal. But prolonged, sometimes nausea, they may have a hooked coccyx. Ida Rolf always considered the coccyx the seat of the soul, and coccyx have a tendency, we fall on them when we're kids, and they tend to have, the three little bones that that's supposed to flex as we sit down. When we sit down, they're supposed to flex forward, but they're not supposed to stay there, do they? We have a joint there that's very important, the pubococcygeal joint, and that's where you've got to try to get that thing out. You've got these ligaments called the pubococcygeal ligaments. There's a lateral pubococcygeal ligament, and then there's a medial. The medial is underneath, and that's what really holds that coccyx in. Ida Rolf had the students just go on each side of the work the sacrotuberous ligament, work the sacrospinous ligament, and pull this stuff out and hope for the best, hope that the coccyx would unwind. I like to actually come and try to find whether the coccyx is side bent to one side. Recall that the sphenoid bone and the coccyx are brother and sister, because of the dural membrane connection between the sphenoid, the sphenobasilar junction, the sphenoid bone. If it's side bent to the right, you can bet that the coccyx will be side bent right too. And that's because the dural pull will be like this, all the way down the spine. It'll be pulling like this, and it goes down. The dura comes down and becomes what's called the filament terminale, which is the end of the spinal cord. And that dura is thick and tough, and it can side bend this coccyx along with the sphenobasilar junction. The sacrum and the occiput are brother and sister. They work together like this through a pulley system. If one is side bent, it's doing this pulley system like this, right? So you have to, if you're not getting any results in there, you got to go up and make sure the sphenobasilar junction, make sure the occiput and everything's fine. But I like to get under and move that coccyx back to where it belongs very gently with just using meet the barrier, and you're actually working on the lateral pubococcygeal ligaments to release them, and if possible try to get under and release that medial pubococcygeal ligament without, of course you always tell the client, you ask their permission to do this work, and usually they're coming in asking you. But and I always work through a sheet. Typically I have my clients draped all the time. I always err on the side of modesty because I'm one-on-one with a person in the office, and I suggest you err on the side of modesty too. So I work through the sheet and try to release the coccyx. If it's exquisitely tender, there's a problem there. Now I'm going